In astronomy, in order to measure the distance from the Earth to a celestial body, the parallax method is used, where either the Earth's rotation or its orbit is used as we use our two eyes for depth perception, as two vertices of the triangle formed between them and the target. But provided you have faster than light travel, this method can be made incredibly precise. And today I'd like to explore how accurate that could be with rudimentary tools in my space exploration video game which I've been working on for the past 5 years. Yeah, I've got to tie it in somehow. Hi, I'm Dr. Nagel and I make video games. In my biggest project, Erasda, you can't do it from Earth. At least not for stars. This is because Erasda's skybox is fixed in place for the current system and so won't change as you move about in it. Now you could do it for planets, but that would be a right faff, wouldn't it? There is, however, another method which can be used to measure very long stellar distances. Put simply, if instead of using the position along an orbit as your vertices, you can use two entirely different solar systems. And, in theory, you can get a significantly more accurate measurement. In theory. In practice, well, you'll see that there are some accuracy limitations, especially with how I implemented it. Speaking of implementation, the first issue was angular measurement. I needed a convenient doohickey which could measure the angle from one direction to another. So I made said gyroscope tool. I genuinely don't know what to call this thing. Gyroscopic sextant? I'll just stick with doohickey, thanks. And so to go along with this new tool, I made a new shop called Celestial Navigation, which I'm thinking is basically just for telescopes and stuff, you know? That sort of thing. I don't know. Anyways, this MacGuffin works quite well, but there is still that issue of actually identifying which stars are which. Around Earth, that's not a problem because, we already have star charts and, my game is relatively accurate in terms of its star placement. However, for other solar systems, it will be different. And so there does actually need to be a dedicated way of identifying different stars. So let's just use Celestial Navigation again. Let's sell a star map at Celestial Navigation. It's sort of like a microcomputer containing the locations and names of a whole bunch of stars and whatever sky it's supposed to be. I think it's quite neat, to be honest. I also added a search function to it too, so you can locate specific stars in the sky. Works quite well, to be honest. But yeah, you can just buy the chart for your local system at Celestial Navigation. It only contains the data for a single system though, due to technological limitations, which I have already discussed in my lore video. If you want to watch that, please do. Anyways, with these tools it should be possible to measure angles between stars. Is anybody actually going to watch this video? So, let's test that theory, by first measuring the distance from the Sun and Alpha Centauri as the vertices to the Cytherea Nebula. So, in this context, I realise the star map is kind of useless. That's because Alpha Centauri is already quite a bright star. Well, now it is, after I, fixed the skybox, because it was broken this whole time and I never realised. Anyway, yeah, let's go to the Earth Ring star to buy the doohickey and then measure the angles. Now, let's measure from here to here, and a few more measurements as well. Alright, measurements taken. Off to Alpha Centauri. And we'll take these measurements as soon as we get here. No need to faff about. Okay, now that we've collected all the data, it's time to do the arguably easier component of all of this. The maths. So, we have... Okay, this is post-recording me. I didn't quite realise how bad this footage was. So I'm just gonna like show some pictures of what I mean instead. Sorry about that. LY, we're using light years here. Right. 6.1. I don't think there are any other different measurements taken. Divided by 3. 3.03 degrees. Right. Equal to 0.87 degrees. Okay, right. Now, let's remind ourselves here, if you haven't revised your GCSEs or A-levels recently, or... Oh god, what's the American one? Yeah, this is just basic sine rule here, to be honest. There's nothing really that fancy going on. Beta 3, beta 2. Now, we're looking for about 400 light years, give or take. Equal to, therefore, 287.6. Okay, now, finally... my god, this is so stupid. 284.97 light years. Is that right? I don't think so. No, it's very, very different. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's not at all close. Right. So the expected length was about 356 light years. And what we measured was about 284.9 light years, which is about 80% of the expected value. Okay, well, as you probably couldn't see because it was blurry as hell, there were a few inaccuracies in our data. Some potential reasons, probably just the imprecision of my aim. Yeah, it's not the best system at the moment. In reality, the tools at an astronomer's disposal in this hypothetical future would be incredibly more advanced than this. I mean, we're already able to measure the distances by parallax from Earth. But if we did have it, then, I mean, god, we could probably get accuracy of distance to a few light days, maybe. Of course, we're not going to be able to get that accuracy here, given how low the precision is. But despite everything, I did still want to give it one more shot. And so I used a slightly broader measurement from Genasia to Toscelin to find the distance to Cyphelia. And then, once again, I did the maths. Right, so now that we have those new measurements, what we can do is once again get out that. I don't actually need this, to be honest, but in fact we can replace this with, draw that. That's the symbol for the Toscelins, that's K, that's the letter K, by the way. And you'll notice I've changed the camera so that I can show you the ridiculous setup I've got here. Oh, that's weird. I think that's the focusing LiDAR. Yeah, that's cool. That's Earth to Toscela. Yeah. So Earth to Toscela. Well, actually, no, I'll just assume a 0.189.1 degrees. Okay, that's way better. So I had this triangle here, but then I also measured that angle there to Alpha Centauri. Okay, and now we should be able to work out the distances between all of these. Theta 1, so that would be for theta 3, that is equal to 89.1. Much better numbers. Ignore the fact that my calculator is a knockoff. 38 over sine 4b is equal to 44.877. That still feels off. Although I could have got them mixed up. Theta 2 we know is right. Theta 1, on the other hand, could be 88.4 if I got confused. That gives a way better number. So I think I got mixed up. So it would be 9.412 times sine 86, which is equal to 388.5 light years, which is very, very interesting. Interesting. So it's not perfect, but that is a lot better. A lot better. Now, so we should be able to work out the distance from here to here relatively simply, applied by cosine, which is equal to 33.6 squared minus 2. Actually, we can just divide by wait, we can just work that out. Therefore, okay, so there are two solutions there. Right, I think you'd have to know the angle here. So I think it's 35.779, which I believe is very close to the 36 light years that was original. Okay, I've done it, it's fine. Thank God. Thank God. It's been so long. Genuinely, I've been recording for like half an hour just trying to work this maths out. Oh my god. I don't even know why I've done this, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's just gonna be the end of the video. Yeah, like, subscribe. I've got the Discord link in the description. Please join. I need reason to actually use it, so yeah. Okay, thanks, bye!